Massive TJ Watt update. This has serious implications for the Steelers. As Pittsburgh Steelers look to sign their best player, news has come out surrounding TJ Watt's status in Pittsburgh. Will he sign or will he request a trade? My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we'll be breaking down the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. If you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, just click that subscribe button down below. 91% of our current viewers are not actually currently subscribed. So if you click that subscribe button, we will get you the latest Pittsburgh Steelers updates. Let's get right into it. TJ Watt has dropped some huge news on his future in Pittsburgh. Obviously, TJ Watt is a guy that has been in Pittsburgh since 2017. He's becoming our defensive captain right next to Cameron Hayward. Obviously Cameron Hayward is a little bit older. He did get drafted right after losing the Super Bowl in 2011. So he's been our defensive captain, but his prodigy, TJ Watt, has been right there alongside. And obviously TJ Watt's shown out since coming into the league. Obviously got a defensive player of the year in 2021 with 22.5 sacks. Should have broke the single season record, but unfortunately the NFL did not count the final sack that he did record. But, the last couple of years, TJ Watt has definitely expressed some frustration in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not offered him another long-term deal as they just keep waiting and waiting to sign this guy. Like they're doing with the Aaron Rodgers situation, the Pittsburgh Steelers have continued to wait to pay TJ Watt. And he has finally decided that, he's had enough and he's not showing up to OTAs at the moment. He's not really showing face around the Pittsburgh Steelers facility lately. If you follow the social media on Steelers, check their Instagram. They haven't been posting a ton of TJ Watt. They posted a video the other day. All the guys running out of OTAs. First guy they show, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, all the other different pass rushers we got. It really begs the question whether or not the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to give TJ Watt that big contract, that $40 million a year contract that he is wanting and he wants. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, TJ Watt has been great for us, and he is the younger brother of JJ Watt, a former All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year for Houston Texans, did finish his career in Arizona with the Cardinals. He did make that late career change of teams. So, hopefully TJ Watt does not follow suit. But, it really begs the question, will he or will he not stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers or try to go and ring chase on a team like the Buffalo Bills or, maybe an NFC team who's a few pieces away from contention. We look at guys like the Detroit Lions. Will they be willing to give the Pittsburgh Steelers a few different picks to get TJ Watt? I don't know. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers sign TJ Watt and pay him that $40 million, especially with Aaron Rodgers and his undecided future in Pittsburgh? How will they get this deal done? But J.J. Watt has dropped some big news on this situation on the Pat McAfee show a few days ago. J.J. Watt did say that ownership and front offices obviously treat this like a business, but they don't like it when the players treat it like a business. If you can take care of your guys earlier, you should do that. Obviously, J.J. Watt spoke on the situation on, TJ and his situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then we look at another team in our division with the Bengals and their situation with Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, the Bengals did pay superstar wide receiver Jamar Chase and T. Higgins 2 long-term deals earlier on in the season. But, what room do they have now to sign their best defensive player in Trey Hendrickson? This dude's been the sack king the past couple years. He's been great, and they don't have enough money to pay for him. And they've just been kicking this can down the line. And, like J.J. Watt said on the Pat McAfee show, eventually that can turns into a garbage, a garbage can, and then you got to pay your guys way more money than you expected. So you should definitely try to lock these guys down as soon as you can. Try to get these deals done early. But obviously, if we do look at the past and what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done in the past, they usually like to wait to pay their superstar guys, but they do usually indeed pay them. I mean, we look at last year with Cameron Hayward. He sat out. I believe he also sat out of OTAs last year trying to get that long-term deal. because obviously he was hurt the year before, only played a few games. But, he still wanted to prove that he's still a contending guy in this league. He's still an all-pro, still the best defensive tackle, right up there alongside some of those other guys like Chris Jones and, some other guys in the league. But TJ Watt's trying a similar approach, but I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will get this done sometime before training camp or during training camp. If we look at TJ's last situation during a contract situation, he did a hold in where he still was showing up to practice, but he wouldn't do any drills, wouldn't get in pads, wouldn't do any running. But eventually him and his agent did get the deal done, and we were able to lock him down. And hopefully we will do the same moving forward. But if TJ Watt decides that, hey, I don't like the number the Pittsburgh Steelers are giving me, I want to go to a team that's at least going to guarantee a winning playoff game. TJ Watt's already 30, going into his 31-year-old season. Dude has never won a playoff game. It's crazy statistic, and, it is very tough to see a guy like TJ Watt never won a playoff game, especially with all the different accolades he has. Defensive Player of the Year, three-time Deacon Jones Award winner. The only guy in NFL history to have 2 consecutive sack-leading seasons. So, he definitely wants to win. He definitely, the next thing he wants is a Super Bowl ring. And whether the Pittsburgh Steelers will be able to provide him with one at this moment, I don't know. I don't think so at this moment. Without a quarterback, without some of these other pieces on the offense, I don't know if we will be in contention this upcoming year. I do think we will at least make the playoffs, but, it might be Groundhog Day again in Pittsburgh with the Mike Tomlin Steelers, and we might go 9-8 and repeat it once again. But, TJ Watt's sick of this, and he's sick of Pittsburgh. I could see him trying to go to a team like the Detroit Lions, maybe a team like, I don't know if they would want to get him. I don't know if he would want to go there, but Chicago Bears, he could want to go to a team like the Green Bay Packers, his hometown, Wisconsin. If he wants to go play for them, he could. There's a lot of different teams that would love to have TJ Watt, but it really depends on that price tag at this point. TJ Watt, he is getting up there in age, and whether the Pittsburgh Steelers do want to give him that $40 million that guys like Max Crosby and Myles Garrett have gotten this offseason really remains to be seen. If they do decide to do it, I do think it's going to be during training camp or right before the season, but I don't think they're going to get in a rush to get it done. There have been some other reports that the Pittsburgh Steelers are interested for making another trade for an offensive weapon, so I would definitely keep your eyes out. Definitely check the news, because Pittsburgh Steelers could be obtaining a new offensive weapon, maybe a tight end. Some people have been saying Jonnu Smith, maybe a wide receiver. We've been obviously hearing about Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, some of these other guys that the Pittsburgh Steelers would love to bring in. Unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys tonight on Steelers Digest. If you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Here we go, Steelers. Peace out, boys.